You've probably made this sound without knowing what it was. Maybe your cat was unsettled and something in you responded instinctively. A soft, slow exhale through your nose, a low hum, a quiet rhythm that came out of you not because you thought about it, but because the situation called for something gentle and your body produced it. And your cat settled. Not immediately maybe, but the tension in their body shifted. Their breathing changed. Something in the room changed. You didn't know why it worked. You probably didn't even clock that it worked. It just became one of those things you do when your cat needs calming, stored somewhere below conscious habit, never examined. What you were doing has a name, and the reason it works goes so deep into the biology of what cats are that once you understand it, you'll never hear a purring cat the same way again. The sound is a slow, rhythmic, low-frequency tone, and your cat doesn't just respond to it. At a cellular level, they are built for it. 1. The purr is not what most people think it is. Start here because the common understanding of purring is incomplete in a way that matters. Most people believe purring means a cat is happy, content, that it's a straightforward expression of positive emotional state, the cat equivalent of a smile. That's partially true and significantly misleading. Cats purr when they're content. They also purr when they're injured, when they're in labor, when they're dying. Cats have been documented purring in veterinary offices while clearly terrified, while in significant pain, while in the final moments of their lives. Purring is not a report of emotional state. It is a functional behavior. It does something. And what it does is the key to understanding why the sound calms your cat when you produce a version of it. The frequency of a cat's purr sits between 25 and 150 Hz. Within that range, and specifically between 25 and 50 Hz, something specific happens to biological tissue. Bone density is maintained and stimulated. Muscle and tendon injuries heal faster. Pain is measurably reduced. Breathing becomes more regulated. Your cat purrs to heal themselves, to manage pain, to regulate their own nervous system in moments of stress or physical difficulty. The purr is not an expression of how they feel. It is a tool for changing how they feel. When they're content, they purr because contentment is a state worth maintaining, and the purr helps maintain it. When they're injured, they purr because the frequency actively contributes to recovery. When they're frightened, they purr because the rhythmic, low-frequency vibration has a measurable calming effect on their own nervous system. The purr is self-regulation, and when you produce a sound in that register, you are offering your cat something that their own biology is designed to respond to. 2. What the sound actually is and how to produce it. The sound is not complicated. You have probably already made it. A slow, low hum, produced in the back of the throat with minimal tension in the jaw. Rhythmic, meaning it has a pulse to it, not a flat continuous tone, but a gentle, regular rise and fall that mimics the pattern of a purr. Quiet enough that you could produce it without anyone in the next room hearing it. The frequency doesn't need to be precise. You cannot produce 25 Hz with your voice, but you can produce something in the low register that your cat's nervous system reads as belonging to the same category as sounds that mean safety, proximity, calm. There is also a specific vocalization that cats themselves make, distinct from the purr, that triggers this response even more directly. It is called the trill, sometimes called a chirrup. It is the sound a mother cat makes to her kittens, short, soft, rising in pitch slightly at the end. It is the sound that means I am here, I see you, everything is fine, come to me. Kittens hear this sound in the first moments of their lives. It is the first vocalization their mother makes to them. It is the sound that precedes warmth and feeding and safety. Their nervous system learns, in those first days, that this particular sound means the most important thing in their world is present and attending to them. Adult cats never fully unlearn that association. The trill from a trusted person carries a resonance that goes back to the earliest days of their life, before they had language for it, before they had anything at all except the sound and what reliably followed it. 3. Why your specific voice doing this works better than any recording. Here is where the science of cat attachment becomes relevant. Cats who are bonded to their person have built a detailed acoustic map of that person. Not just what their voice sounds like in general, but the specific qualities that distinguish their person's voice from all other human voices, the particular timbre, the rhythm of their speech, the pitch range they naturally occupy. When you produce a low hum or a trill, your cat is not hearing a generic calming sound. They are hearing you producing a calming sound. The identity of the source matters as much as the content of the sound itself. Research into how cats process their owner's voice has consistently found that cats respond differently to their owner than to strangers, even when the words and tone are identical. The response isn't to the sound in isolation. It's to the sound plus the recognition of who is making it. A recording of a cat purring will have some effect on a stressed cat, less than you might expect, and significantly less than the effect of their bonded person producing something in that register. Because the recording carries no identity, it is just frequency. What your voice carries is frequency plus you, and for your cat, you are the primary variable. When you hum softly to your cat, or make that low trill at the back of your throat, you are combining two of the most powerful calming inputs available to them: the biological response to low-frequency rhythmic sound and the recognition of the specific person their nervous system has learned to associate with safety. That combination is not replicable by any recording or any other person. It exists only in you, and only in relation to your specific cat. And if this is making you want to try it right now, hit like and subscribe first. It helps us reach more cat owners who want to communicate with their cat in ways that actually reach them. 4. When to use it and what to expect. The sound works differently in different situations, and it helps to know what to expect before you try it. With a cat who is mildly unsettled, restless, moving through the house without settling, the hum or trill often produces a visible response within seconds. Their movement slows. They may stop and orient toward you. Their body posture shifts from alert to something softer. Often they'll move toward you, not urgently, but with the quality of movement that means they've decided where they want to be. With a cat who is actively frightened, a thunderstorm, a vet visit, a sudden loud noise, the sound works but more slowly, and the expectations need to be adjusted. You are not going to immediately dissolve significant fear with a hum. What you're doing is providing a consistent, low-level signal in the background of their experience that says you are present and calm. Over several minutes, that signal accumulates. The fear doesn't disappear, but it has a floor under it. With a cat who is in pain or unwell, the sound works as a companion to whatever other support they need. It does not replace veterinary care. But a cat who is recovering and can hear their person making the sounds associated with safety and proximity is a cat whose stress response is measurably lower, and lower stress means faster recovery. The key, in all cases, is consistency. The sound needs to be slow and steady. If your own voice is tense because your cat's distress is distressing you, they will hear the tension and the signal gets mixed. The calming effect of the sound depends partly on your own state producing it. You have to actually be calm, or working toward calm, for the sound to carry what it needs to carry. 5. The cats who respond least have a specific history. Not every cat responds to this sound with the same immediacy, and it's important to understand why. Cats who were separated from their mothers very early, before the normal weaning period, often have a muted response to the trill specifically. They didn't accumulate enough exposure to that sound in the context of safety and feeding for the association to form fully. The sound is familiar, but it doesn't carry the same depth of meaning. Cats who have experienced significant stress or trauma may have a nervous system that is harder to reach with gentle sound alone. The calming response is there, but it's underneath a layer of hypervigilance that takes more time and consistency to work through. And some cats are simply wired toward higher baseline alertness. They are not distressed cats. They are cats who run a higher idle and who take longer to settle regardless of input. For all of these, the sound still works. It just works on a longer timeline. The key is using it consistently, not just in moments of acute stress, but as part of the ordinary texture of your time together. A hum while you sit near them. A soft trill when you enter the room. A low murmur when you pass them in the hallway. Over time, the sound becomes part of the acoustic environment that means you are present, and your presence, for a cat who has learned to associate you with safety, becomes its own form of the sound. Eventually, the two are inseparable. They hear you coming and something in them settles before you even make a noise. 6. The sound was always a conversation. Here's what I want you to hold on to from this. Your cat purrs near you, partly for themselves. The frequency regulates them, maintains them, helps them stay in the state they want to be in. But research has found that cats purr at a higher rate in the presence of their bonded person than when alone. The regulation is enhanced by your presence. The sound is more effective when you are in the room. And when you hum back, when you produce something in that low rhythmic register that belongs to the same frequency family as what they're producing, something closes. A loop that was open completes. They are producing a sound that regulates them and is enhanced by your presence. You are producing a sound that regulates them and is authenticated by your identity. Both of you are, in that moment, doing the same thing, using the oldest, most biological communication available to you to say the same sentence to each other. I am here. I am calm. You are safe. That sentence doesn't require words. It never did. It just requires a low, soft, unhurried sound produced by someone your cat already knows is the safest thing in their world. You've been making that sound your whole life. Now you know what it means to them when you do.